obviously they had a good year last year, Wakey, in the championship, but not won a major trophy for quite some time now, and we want to be that group that can take the club forward and get back to the glory days.
What's your golf game like?
Bang average. Depends who you're asking. If you ask any of the younger boys, they'll probably say I'm all right. But if you ask anyone who's good at golf, yeah, they've got to say bang average.
Who plays together?
There's a few of us, to be fair. We've got me, Harvey, Pratty, when he decides that we're actually his mates and not his mates from York. He plays every now and again. Miles, he attempts to play, but calls it a day short sometimes.
Something you've all picked up this year?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Just because we've got like so much spare time. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously, I've always worked, so I've always worked as well as playing rugby up until sort of last year. But London, it was pretty expensive to get out playing. So yeah, I'd say this year really is the first time I've actually tried to start taking it a little bit serious, and I think it's more sort of me dragging the young boys out to come and play with me. So like I said, I just go on my own as well. Feel like it's just good to get away from rugby a little bit. Take your mind off, obviously, the pressures of playing professional sport, and it's good to just come and get away, have a bit of peace and quiet, and better than sitting in your bedroom scrolling on TikTok and rotting your brain away in it. So
100%. Where do you like to play, Andy?
There's a few good courses, to be fair. Low Leiths are really good. They let us go and play there. That's a really good sort of local course. I think the coaches get out there quite a bit. We've been quite a few times as well. So
does it get competitive?
Yeah, it's definitely competitive, mate. There's a lot of cheating that goes on. I like to say that I'm pretty good with my scoring, but there's a few times Harvey and Miles of it 10. You ask them what they get, and they come out with 6s and 7s, and yeah, you might have got 6 and 7 from the green. You might have took you 6 or 7 to put it in, but yeah, there's a lot of cheating that goes on. Pratty's pretty good, to be fair. He doesn't cheat, but he'll call them out for cheating. So yeah, he's not happy when he's playing with Harvey and Miles.
Right, the main reason we're here, mate, is JOSH ROURKE 2027 announcement. How does that feel?
Yeah, mate.
What are your thoughts around that? Yeah,
it's class for me, really. Like I've been saying to my family and stuff that since I've come into the club, I've really enjoyed it. You know, the good thing for me as well, it's pretty close to home. Obviously, living in Lancashire and playing in London last year, it was quite difficult for me to get back and see my family, see my missus and stuff. So yeah, this year, obviously, only being an hour away from home means I can get back on days off. So much better social life for me, getting to see my family and stuff. But in terms of the rugby side, like I think I've come in like knowing where I'm at in my career, knowing that I'm quite inexperienced, and I feel like I'm learning all the time with Powley, with Shenny, with Kermore, just the little tips that they're giving me and the advice that they're giving me to keep improving, and as well as obviously the quality of standard of players that I'm around. You know, we've got England internationals in terms of Mike and Tom, and then obviously we've got players like Max who's class for me. You know, he pushes me to be a better player, and I feel like I'm sort of doing the same for him as well. But yeah, I obviously buzzing to sign and be here for another couple of years. I think the club's heading in the right direction in terms of what Matt's doing. Matt and his family have done with the club. You even just look around the place, it's exciting, and you go on a match day, there's fireworks going off, and they make it a great atmosphere for not just the players but the fans as well. And yeah, like I said, the fans have been class with me as well. They've shown me a lot of support, and yeah, just really looking forward to the next couple of years and just keep improving game on game, which I feel like I'm doing at the minute. And yeah, just excited to see where we can end up in the next few years.
How would you evaluate your 2025 season so far?
Yeah, obviously it was a bit difficult for me at the start. Obviously coming into a new team, I've got to earn the respect of both the coaches and the players, which I sort of feel like I'm growing in confidence, and feel like I've done that, to be fair. I feel like I've gained the respect of the coaching staff and obviously my colleagues, my teammates. So that gives me a little bit more confidence as well. And then obviously when Powley came to me and said that they wanted to not only take up the offer that I had in my contract initially, but they wanted to extend further on that. That's just filled me with confidence, you know. So yeah, just excited to have finally got that sorted, and now I can just focus on what happens on the pitch. Like I said, just trying to put my best foot forward and give it 100% for the club.
Did it take much thinking about?
Nah, not for me. I feel like a lot of people probably wrote us off at the start of the year, to be honest. And for us, I think as a playing group, we knew what we can achieve this year, and we're hoping to get into that top 6. We're only a couple of points off that at the minute. And if we can get there in our first season, I feel like the sky's the limit really for this club. Like I say, with the backing that we've got from Matt and his family and the coaching staff, and just the group that we've got, I feel like we've got a lot of belief in ourselves, and we're just growing all the time. Obviously, we've got quite a few injuries at the minute, but when they come back in, I think you look at what we can potentially achieve this year. It could be something special, and no, it didn't take any thinking about. For me, I wasn't interested in like speaking to any other clubs or anything. Really happy here. I'm happy with how I've settled in. The boys have been class with me really. So yeah, for me it was a no-brainer.
You spoke about some of the names. Obviously, having Mikey, Tom, Truey, Max, and the list goes on. We're filming this on the Friday. Tonight on Sky Sports, we're announcing the Josh Tavanga signing.
Yeah.
What around the camp in general, like what does a signing like that, 150 NRL appearances and stuff, what does that do to the
I think it just boosts our confidence. You know, the fact that we're attracting players like that to the club is special. Obviously, he's going to bring a lot of experience. We've already got a lot of experience in the team, and I feel like we've got a good blend. We've got a lot of experienced players, but we've got a lot of young players coming through as well. You look at the likes of Pratty coming through. You know, like I say, the sky's the limit for him really. How good he's done in his first season, and Harvey as well. I feel like we've got a really good mix. But yeah, I think if we can bring players like that into the club, it's only going to be a good thing, and it's going to be a class signing for everyone, and it'll probably just give us a boost, you know, for the rest of the season, knowing that next year we've got players coming in like that, and if we can keep competition for places, it's class.
Yeah. You spoke about it there. I don't know how much fans know really, but your trajectory into rugby league, well, you wouldn't say was like a traditional one?
Oh, definitely not, mate. I feel like it's quite unique, to be honest, the way that I sort of came into the game. So, starting off, I was always a rugby fan. Like my dad always used to take me to the Wigan games, and like my earliest memories of rugby league is sort of being 4 years old at the DW, watching players like Andy Farrell, Chris Radlinski, and that's sort of what got me into rugby. So I was always a rugby fan, but where I'm from in Preston, it's not really a rugby city really. We've got a rugby union team, but there's no rugby league teams around there. So I just got into football, to be honest. I was a football player up until from like 4 till 10. I was decent as well. I managed to play for like a few academies. Played for Preston, like under 9s, under 10s. Got released and brought my heart, mate. So I thought I'd give rugby league a try.
What age was that now?
I was about 10 when I first started rugby league. My older cousin played at my local club, Chorley Panthers, which is about 15-20 minutes away from me. She took me down there to a session and just fell in love with it straight away. I always enjoyed watching rugby, but I'd never really give it a crack, apart from sort of throwing the ball around with my dad in the garden and kicking to each other. But yeah, when I went down there, I just loved it straight away. I realised that I was faster than everyone at that age. Yeah. It was quite easy, you know, you can just run round, and I was just enjoying it. Put a smile back on my face. I feel like after I finished playing football, it was quite serious at that age, sort of 9, 10. I feel like if you made a mistake, they were kind of on you, and it was a bit much at that age, I'd say, to be honest. But yeah, I just sort of fell in love with playing rugby, and luckily managed to sort of go to witness his scholarship side at under 14s to under 16s. Really enjoyed my first year there. My second year ended up getting like really ill, having loads of time off school and stuff, so never really worked out, and got released at 16. So that sort of, by the age of 16, I've been released from sort of 2 professional clubs, and But for me, I felt like it was just carry on playing. I always kind of believed in myself in a weird way. I just went back down to Chorley playing sort of amateur rugby, under 18s, and then I did 1 year playing open age there, which was like Northwest Men's Division 2. So I think it's like 5th tier of amateur rugby. Played there, had a good year, and luckily managed to get sort of a trial.
Did it seem easy when you were playing?
It was sort of my first year of open age, so I wouldn't say it was easy. Although the standard wasn't great, it's physical, mate. You know, there's a lot of big boys that play amateur rugby, and they're not bothered about rules. They're quite happy to take your head off, especially me as a young 18-year-old. You know, probably stepping around everywhere. They were happy to try and clatter me. So I wouldn't say it was easy, but obviously I did quite well. We ended up playing in a final, and luckily got spotted from a scout by Salford. He then took me for a trial at Salford, and I managed to get on. This is sort of 2020, so I managed to sign for Salford's reserve side. And then of course COVID happens, done it? So again, that got scrapped. Back playing amateur rugby again, but this time I thought I need to try and play at the highest possible level and just give myself a chance. So went playing for Lee Miners in the NCL, which is like the conference. So I went and played there with, it was actually under Widnes's current coaches now, Alan Coleman and Tom Wood. So obviously the standard of coaching was really good. They give me a lot of advice and what I need to do to try and get into the professional game. And then luckily once COVID had finished 2022, went back to Salford's reserves, got a full season under my belt, and luckily made my Super League debut at the end of that year, which I'd never have thought, to be honest. At 16 years old, getting released from Widnes and going back playing amateur rugby with my mates, to then think, you know, a couple of years later I'll be making my Super League debut. It's a pretty unique journey, I'd say. There's not many people that do that, and I think that's helped me, to be honest, because, you know, I've obviously played part-time rugby, and I've obviously been working alongside that. So now that I've managed to get into a full-time environment, I feel like I appreciate it a little bit more. But yeah, like I'm still fully aware of where I'm at, and although I am 25 now, I'm still only in my second year of full-time rugby. So a lot of these lads who I'm playing with have been involved since they were sort of 17, 18 years old in full-time. So yeah, I'm still aware of where I'm at, but yeah, I'm just loving it, mate. Just enjoying every second.
You're kind of would it be fair to say you're the Jamie Vardy of rugby league?
Mate, I think so, to be honest. I wouldn't say there's many people who've gone from Northwest Men's Division 2 in 2020 to playing Super League in 2022. I'd say there's not many people that have.
You just need a grand final winners.
Yeah, that's it now. Yeah, so hopefully that's on the cards.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the dream, really, playing at Old Trafford. I'm a big Man United fan, so imagine if we could walk out there at Old Trafford, mate. Sky's the limit, mate. So it could happen this year, it could happen in the next couple of years, but as a club, that's definitely where we're aiming.
You mentioned it there, like when you were playing footy, that they pick up on every little mistake and stuff. Have you felt that whilst playing Super League?
I feel like you know yourself. Like I'm sort of my own biggest critic, and I sort of obviously watch my own performances back, and yeah, I feel like they will tell you, which is good. I feel like Paulie is pretty strict on things. I think if he sees something that I'm not doing right, then he'll come and tell me, which is good. I need to know that. But yeah, I'd say, like myself, I know if I've not played to my own standard that I set myself, then yeah, I know myself straight away. If depends who I speak to. If I speak to my dad, he'll tell me I've played amazing every game. But yeah, I know myself when I've had a bad game, and touch wood, I haven't had too many this year. No, I made a couple of mistakes in the Challenge Cup game against Lee, which I was quite gutted with, to be honest. I put a lot of pressure on myself after that performance to make sure that I back it up and it doesn't become a regular thing. But again, it's just learning, mate. Like you're going to have those games. You're going to have days where you can't play great every time you step on the pitch. There's no one who does that. Even the best in the world make mistakes. So I feel like you are going to make mistakes, but it's just about how you react to them and how you learn off the back of it. So yeah, I feel like if I get stuff wrong, it's then, okay, how can I correct it? Can I get back in training? Can I practice it? Can I do it in extras? If I drop a ball, okay, I get into training, do 20 catches, and just get your confidence back. I felt like after that league game, it was tough for me. I feel like I'm not really one who goes on social media anywhere, but Mrs. was saying there's quite a few comments on social media from fans, and that's going to happen. But the only person that I really care about is Pauli and impressing the coaching staff. So if I do make a mistake, it's just trying to impress them. And like I said, after that game, Pauli was really good with me, to be fair, as well as all the other boys. Like Mike gave me a message and he said, keep your head up, don't worry about it. And that's perfect for me. That's exactly what I needed. I felt like personally I'd let my teammates down, but when you look at the bigger picture, you're going to make mistakes, and you've got to learn off the back of it. So I think luckily off the back of it, I've had some decent performances and I got that confidence back, and it's just about trying to keep doing that week in, week out.
That's a good reminder. I think it gets brought up a lot, but comments online, I know most of the lads know better than to check them, but inevitably some get back to you, I guess, don't they? And yeah, of course they do. But like at the same time, mate, a lot of fans obviously watch the game, but there's a lot of fans who don't know the finer details. So players are going to get stick all the time. You're never going to impress everybody, but I feel like for me it's a bit easier because I'm a bit older, but I feel like some of the younger boys, they might go on social media after game, but I just try not to take any notice of it. When you're playing well, obviously you're going to get praise, but don't get too high, and when you're not playing well, try not to get too low. Just try and stay at that try and stay level-headed if you can. And like I said, the only people you really need to impress is the coaches. They're the ones who pick the team every week. So yeah, try not to worry. Obviously take the praise when it comes, but try not to worry too much about what people are thinking about online. And ultimately it doesn't really matter, does it? You touched on United before. I think this is probably the hardest thing to talk about.
It's difficult. Yeah, it's a tough time to be a United fan. I think sort of growing up, really, it was my era was sort of your Ronaldos, your Rooneys, your Beckhams. So you look at the calibre of players that we've got at the minute, and it's a tough time to be a United fan. But
you still go, don't you?
Yeah, I still go. I try and go as much as I can. One of my mates has got a season ticket, so whenever he's not going out, I'll try and go as much as I can. But to be honest, spending 40 quid watching that rubbish is you feel like what you're wasting your time doing. But yeah, I still enjoy it. I still enjoy going watching United. Unfortunately, it's one of them things where you can't swap your team. I think I sort of made that decision. My dad always tried to get me to support Bolton when I was younger, but I realised they weren't any good, so I ended up supporting Man United and had a good few years up until I was about 13, 14 years old, and now I've had about 11 years of misery, mate. So yeah, fingers crossed it'll pick back up. I think we're too big of a club to not get back to the top, so fingers crossed.
I think Bolton died quicker than United did, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, at the time, Bolton were in the Premier League. They had like
JJ
Okocha, they had a right team. So I'm kind of glad I didn't make the decision to support Bolton. On my other side, on my mum's side, they're Blackpool fans, so Blackpool, Bolton. Luckily, I had an uncle who supported United and took me when I was sort of 7 or 8, and you walk out to Old Trafford, there's 75,000 people there, and you're just like, wow. Fall in love with it. And then, like I said before, that's why if I could get to walk out there, imagine that atmosphere, 75,000 people at Old Trafford, it'd be unreal. So yeah, that's the dream, mate. Hopefully we can get there one day.
Signing a deal like you have, do you set yourself to 2-year goals, or do you just get straight back to the next week?
I think for me, really, I don't try and look too far into the future. I try and just take it game by game and just focus on who we're playing next. But obviously, of course, I set long-term goals. I think, like I said, a team goal is to get into the grand final, try and win trophies. That's what we all play the game for. We want to win trophies, and obviously they had a good year last year, Wakey, in the championship, but not won a major trophy for quite some time now, and we want to be that group that can take the club forward and get back to the glory days. So I think long-term team goals is that. I think personal goals is to just try and establish myself in the team, try and get in that starting team, whatever position that might be. I think obviously speaking to the coaches, they want me to be quite flexible in my role. Obviously fullback's my main position and my out-and-out position, but I think for me is learning different positions as well, whether that's wing, centre, in the halves. I think if I can sort of develop my game and be able to play in different positions, it gives me a lot more chance to try and cement my place in that starting 13. And obviously it's only going to benefit me as well if I've got the skills to play different positions. That's going to help me play at fullback as well. So I think it's just, like I said before, mate, it's just learning, and I'm only in my second year of being a full-time player, so just trying to get better every week. But I wouldn't say that I look too far into the future. Just try and take it week in, week out. You're only as good as your last game, so yeah.
And we'll finish on at the end of win or lose. I've seen you go down to North Stand and along East as well, speaking to the fans, acknowledging the effort they've been putting in. What's your relationship been like with them this year?
Yeah, classmate. To be honest, I think the atmosphere that they create, every game's more or less been a sellout. Obviously we've just got the extension as well, so it'll be even more packed. But I think for me it's just trying to show my appreciation to the fans as well. They've sort of welcomed me with open arms, and I can always hear them cheering me on and supporting the boys. So like you say, win or lose, they always turn up in the numbers and they're always backing the team, which is great to see. And for us, I feel like when we walk out, the fireworks are going off, you can hear the fans, the singing, the chanting. It just gets you fired up, it gets you ready, and it makes you want to perform. They're spending their hard-earned money coming down watching us, and we just want to repair that, really.
Brilliant. Well, congrats on the new contract.
Cheers, mate.
And it should be I think highest attendance of the year tomorrow against Catalan.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I think it looked like we had 8,000 sold the other day, so if we can get another 1,200 in there, imagine that, 9,200 people at little old Wakey, it'd be unreal. So hopefully they can get down, and obviously by the time this has gone out, hopefully we had another 2 points.
Superb. Cheers, mate.